Hello, I'm Cristian Espinosa, a student from the class of Contemporary World in University of Tech Millennium. I'm going to give a general description of the Cold War and a list of the most important events that happened during this historical period. Hope you enjoy it.
What the term Cold War refers to? It refers to a state of conflict between two nations that does not involve direct military action. The Cold War was a state of geopolitical tension that occurred after the World War II between the powers of the Eastern region, the Soviet Union and its independent states, against the powers in the Western region, the United States and their allies, from the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. This war broke the Timeline Alliance against the Nazi Germany, leaving as a result the Soviet Union and the United States of America as the two world's greatest superpowers, with a lot of political and economic differences. Now I'm gonna talk about the origins of the Cold War and the important dates. Following the surrender of the Nazis in 1945, the alliance between the United States and Great Britain in one side and the Soviet Union in the other began to break. By 1948, the Soviet Union had installed left-wing governments in the Eastern European countries, but the British and the Americans didn't agree. They feared the permanent Soviet domination of the Eastern Europe, which was not a democratic act. Between 1947 and 1948, the Cold War had solidified, when the United States influenced it in most of the European countries and the Soviets installed communist ideas in the Western Europe. The war reached its peak in the years 1948 to 1953. In this period, the Soviets blocked the western sections of Berlin, and the US formed the North Atlantic Treaty Organization in 1949. In 1953, the long-term Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin died. This event relaxed the tensions in the war. Another important event was in 1962, when the Soviet Union installed nuclear missiles bases in Cuba that could be launched to the American territory. Finally, on the following years, a number of conflicts between the two superpowers, Russia and the United States, continued taking place in Europe, but after some years and threats, the war finally ended. Finally, I want to start talking about capitalism and socialism and how do they work. The major differences between capitalism and socialism is the role of the government and the equality in economy. Capitalism promotes economic freedom, consumer choice, and economic growth. Karl Marx was a person who proposed this economical system. The advantages of it are consumer choice, efficiency in economics, and economic growth and expansion. By the other hand, socialism, which is an economy controlled by the state and planned by a certain authority, provides a greater social wellness and decreases the business variations. Adam Smith, in collaboration with other economists, created a discourse explaining these concepts, and they were the pioneers of it. The advantages of socialism can be public benefits, greatest commonwealth, and better use of resources and the land in a country.